everybody, thank you so much for joining me today for this video. We're going to be chatting about some high-end products that I purchased that I have come to believe I really do not need. Now, need I know is one of those words in makeup where it's like, well, do you really need any of this stuff? More or less, it's a word I'm using to say like it's something that I got, but it didn't really like fulfill its purpose for me. It's not becoming something that I feel like, oh my gosh, I want to or need to include that in my makeup routine every single day. They just kind of fell short. They didn't really meet expectations. I would not call them terrible products or total flops, but in many of these cases, a drugstore alternative definitely comes to mind, and I'm like, this really didn't go above and beyond. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, you guys, that I got is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. So we all know and love, I know I definitely love the Vitamin Enriched Face Base, right? What is this, like my third tub? I'm already starting to get to the bottom of it. I really love this product. I love the smell. It's kind of lightly citrusy. I love the texture that my skin takes on when I apply it. I feel like it's rich and thick, and it practically makes my skin feel like it's glowing before I ever even put any kind of color product on. There are a few other face creams that I might mix into my rotation. There's one called Holy Hydration from e.l.f. that's not quite as thick as this, but it's a pretty rich cream and it sort of approaches that effect. Also, the Daily Facial Moisturizer from Fourth Ray I think is really good. But this product is rich, and I think if you are a normal to dry or even very dry skin type, you might really like what this does for you under your makeup. So when I heard recently that they were coming out with an eye base, I thought, I kind of need to try this too, don't I? So this is supposed to actually be a prep step before concealer. I kind of use it as eye cream with the thought that, okay, concealer is going to end up going on top of this, and hopefully this benefits the application, benefits just the longevity, the freshness of the look of my concealer perhaps. So I got this, got that kind of buttery look to it, if not even a bit more yellowy than the original face cream. But that's really where the similarities end. There is just a slight scent, but it's not really the same as the face cream at all. It's quite a bit lighter, and the texture is completely different. This is super duper thin, whereas with the face cream, you feel like you're practically melting that into your skin. This is incredibly thin, and I can see the advantage to that. You're wanting to work this in among makeup products. You know, you're wanting to nourish the skin, but you'd like everything to last, and you don't want it to be too goopy, I guess. And I'm not saying this doesn't moisturize, but did I really actually need this product when I've got my daily eye cream from Fourth Ray, and I feel like it has that thinness of texture that I think is kind of enjoyable for an eye cream, but it provides even more moisture. It actually takes an area where I do have some dry spots. I recently realized I was kind of neglecting like this area up in here when I put on my eye cream. This, I feel, while it's thin, it gives more potent and longer lasting moisture to that area than this one does. So this kind of, I don't know, I found it to be underwhelming. Did I really need it? Did I feel like in order to really, experience the vitamin enriched line, did I have to have this? Not really. Other than the color and the mimicked shape of the container, actually it looks a ton more yellow when I hold them up side by side. But beyond just some of those aesthetic qualities, the texture of it is nothing like this. I would have liked it to maybe be a little thicker. I thought maybe it would be thicker, but have some kind of more of a slip to it or something. I don't know. I just didn't want to get this and then come away thinking, oh, this one that's really, really affordable actually performs just as well, if not better. I'm not saying it's terrible, and I'm not saying I'm gonna like flat out discontinue use. I'm gonna put it in here with my eye creams, and I'll probably use it from time to time, but I just felt like, gosh, wouldn't it have been nice to have a little more richness in that cream? It's just so incredibly thin, and I don't feel like the moisture lasts as long. Here's another thing now that I'm coming to realize I really didn't need it. The Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizer, they call it a Healthy Glow all-in-one tinted moisturizer. It does have SPF 25, and I wear it in light neutral. I think the shade is good. I think as far as light glowy tinted moisturizers go, like it's fine, okay? I dot it on my skin, I blend it in. The face ends up appearing very dewy, very luminous. They say it's infused with primer so it lasts all day. I think that's kind of funny that just simply the thought of infusing a primer makes something last all day. Like, doesn't it depend on your skin type, what you're putting it through, blah, blah, blah. It looks pretty and glowy, but bottom line, it's a light coverage tinted moisturizer. It's not doing anything that's way exceeding other products that that I have. In fact, if you watched my video on BB and CC creams and you think down to that lower left-hand corner where we had a lot of products that were light in coverage and also very glowy. I think about that Neutrogena Radiant Tinted Moisturizer having a very similar effect to this. Also, the Clinique one, the Moisture Surge Tinted Moisturizer, granted that's a little more on par with the price of this. This would be the more inexpensive alternative that has the very same kind of luminous glow. I'm not saying there's any glitter in either of these, but it's just a very dewy look after you put it on. If you like that and you like the light coverage, you could definitely save some money by going for the Neutrogena, and you're also getting an even greater SPF there with an SPF 30. I just saw that this was available. I was tempted by it. If you've got a lot of different glowy tinted moisturizers on hand, don't feel like trying this is going to take you like over the top to a new experience. Isn't that sometimes what we're just looking for when we purchase or shopping for a new product? It's like we want the thing we got to do something different than we've ever experienced, and some things just flat out don't go there. By the way, if you'd like to spend less and get more coverage, I might direct you to the Maybelline Dream Urban cover. How am I getting mascara smudges under my eye already? More to come on the mascara. But this is a less luminous, fuller coverage, but still kind of some of the moisturization that you might like to have in a tinted moisturizer. You'll find those elements in the Dream Urban cover, and it's still at a drugstore price. Okay, let's talk about this Stila One Step Correct Eye, and it's called a Correcting and Brightening Serum. I put this on like after my base step, which today was the Smashbox Halo stuff, and it pumps out, and you've got this like swirl of different tones of peach. So I'm seeing like a pinky peach, a yellowish peach, and a deeper, practically more orange shade, and that all squeezes out and kind of meshes together, and you can dab it on the under eye area. And can I see some color? Yes. Is this meant to be concealer? No. Or corrector? It doesn't say that. But they call it a correcting and brightening serum, and I've been wearing it for a while, and what I feel like it's doing is just kind of getting in the way for me because I'm not really seeing an effect from it. And then I want to go in with a concealer or a corrector, and I've put this on and I feel like it practically dilutes the usual effect from some really more full coverage products. Like for example, today I went to put on my e.l.f. Camo Concealer, not even the hydrating one, just the matte one, because I thought, okay, if this waters down that really full coverage product, I'm really doubting its purpose. And so I put on that today, and I felt like as I dabbed it over this area, which granted it had some nice moisture, I could see a little bit of that peachy tone, but it wasn't helping in the corrective process, because then I go to blend in the e.l.f. and I just felt like it was somehow watering down what is normally a really potent, really full coverage concealer. I mean, look, I'm wearing e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the original, and I'm still really seeing darkness around my eyes. I'm sorry, maybe I'm supposed to wait for like a real long-term, like ride it out and keep using this every day, and then suddenly I start to have less circles or something. I don't know if it's that type of deal. I just feel like this is providing the hint of a slightest tone on the under eye area where I could really go at it with a legit corrector and a really good coverage concealer, or maybe one or the other or some combination of the two, and end up completely covering my problems without the need for this. So I'm sorry, I'm just not digging that. Let's talk about another product I had recently mentioned getting here. This is the Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder from Hourglass. It's a really pretty looking powder. It just looks beautiful in the compact. And this would be a product that you could use as a finishing powder. They say it's like a combination of ambient lighting powders plus an ambient lighting strobe powder, which is a highlighter. So think of really watered down highlighter, which isn't really a bad thing. You end up with a sheer, ever so slightly glowy effect. I'm not wearing any highlighter today. I'm just wearing that powder like on the top of my whole look. Do I see a subtle hint of a glow? Yes, I do. It's not doing much, but it gives you just the slightest veil of color that you could easily wear all over. Don't think like, oh, would I want to put highlighter all over my skin? It's not going that far. It's just a really lightly, ever so gently luminous powder that you could just set your whole face with if you wanted to. And then when I start thinking about that, I'm like, okay, I've got these things that pretty much do that, like the Milani Prep Set and Glow. This is exactly that kind of product. It's an ever so gently luminous powder that you could wear all over the face just to make everything look a little more lively and skin-like. The texture of this powder is so soft. Do they still have this readily available? I feel like this is a harder product to come by. It's not the Prep Set and Go, which I believe is their matte powder. This is Prep Set and Glow. But another one that I really like that's very similar is the Hourglass finishing powder from NYX. So this is another one of those things where it has a soft sheen to it. This probably has a little more sheen than both the Hourglass and the Milani, but it's still like a gentle product. You apply it with a fairly large brush and you just sweep it all over the skin. You get a little bit of a glow. In fact, I'll just show you right now. You know, you pop it on here. Can you see maybe just a little more luminous look? Point being, they're all subtle products, and I feel like those Hourglass powders are just so expensive, and I don't know what I was hoping it would do for me, like fold my laundry, make my coffee, I don't know, but it's not going above and beyond, okay? The last thing I will mention that I got, and I really didn't need, it's not a favorite, it is not like gonna be working its way into my routine at all, is the Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes here from Charlotte Tilbury. I got the mini size, you'll notice, which is kind of contradictory to my tendency on mascaras, because I think the mini, while I feel like I've come to some conclusions on this mascara, I do think the mini is not like the reality of the way your mascara would be, because I've always thought they take a full-size brush and they put it in this shorter tube, when in reality you'd have a bigger wand, you'd have kind of an easier experience applying because that brush is further removed from where you're actually holding on, but also in the full-size world, your brush gets to sweep through way more product as it comes out of the tube, you know, more distance it covers, and I feel like that changes things. So even though I'm going to give you some opinions on this mascara, I somewhat doubt myself a little bit because I haven't tried the full size, and I think experiences can vary between minis and full sizes, but I did spend a good amount of time curling my lashes before putting this on, and I feel like this is an instant curl dropper. I like the brush shape, I like the shortness of the bristles, and I love that it's tapered toward the tip. I think that does make the application easy, but I feel like I'm immediately fighting my lashes because they wanted to be curled. I had them curled, and then this just drops the curl. And then I feel like I've got just this somewhat weighed down feeling to the lashes as soon as the product comes in contact. And that's really a deal breaker for me, because if a mascara supports my curl and helps enhance it, my lashes can look like a night and day difference versus something that immediately drops it, because my length is actually fairly decent. I may not have world's thickest lashes, but if I have something that can separate and really lift, you're gonna see them, right? You're gonna really know that they're there. And here I just feel like they're kind of drooped, even though I tried to do this little trick here. It's just this formula is fighting me on the curl. Also, did you notice how I was mentioning a smudge earlier? Like right down here? Like what the heck was causing that? I don't even have anything on my lower lashes. Like we didn't even go there, and this somehow created a smudge underneath. I don't even have any eyeshadow under the eyes today. Not feeling like this is worth it. I don't have one on hand right now, but CoverGirl Supersizer, I mean, the reason why I think about that is because the website touted some kind of like load and lift sort of quality to this brush. Like you can see how it's different as you turn it. It looks flat, and then you can see like the bristles, and that's the same kind of quality that Supersizer has. It has more of a flat side where you think about getting the product on, and then you turn the brush and rake it on through. Except Supersizer, I feel, gives me the look of more lashes, gives me great length, and supports my efforts to try to curl the lashes, okay? So that would be a way, way better alternative in my opinion. And a lot less money. Wouldn't you rather get hooked on a $5 drugstore mascara instead of that? Okay, that's all I've got for now, guys. I feel like the mascara was the thing that I had the biggest problem with, but the rest of the stuff, like, it's not necessarily terrible stuff. I'm not saying like this is the worst thing ever. I just feel like it's kind of unnecessary, and it's like just one extra step where I didn't really need that, and I think it kind of got in the way. The Smashbox Halo, you know, it's an okay tinted moisturizer. This Hourglass powder, you know, I got things that can do that, and again with the Bobbi Brown, the vitamin enriched eye cream, it's adorable, nice for the face cream to have a little little buddy or whatever, but it just doesn't really mimic the richness that many people come to Face Base for. And I'm not saying I want the very same thing just repackaged in an eye cream, but for what it is, I look at other eye creams that I have, such as the one from 4-3, and I'm like, that one still gives me that thinness, that feeling of, okay, I haven't put something super heavy on that eye area, but that gives me more of a longer lasting locked in moisture. The Bobbi Brown is just incredibly thin. So I don't know, just one person's 2 cents here, that's all. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. Give your opinions and your experiences in the comments section. I would love to read them, and have a great day. Bye guys.